please also keep showing the next ordinary person that it's okay. It's okay to go through this, and whatever that you're going through, it's okay and it's safe, and you are seen. Why were you anxious?
Oh, because I needed to go to the clinic, public clinic, and every time I need to do that or to a public hospital, or I'm already just like, yo, my capacity for angriness is like this tiny. Yo,
That's where you need to give them grace because they're also trying to do their own work,
right. They're
right?
also just trying to get through the day, like, and honestly, nothing went wrong. I've just had bad experiences before, so before even going there, I'm already so anxious, and nobody even validated my anxiety. They were just like, "How? But we are fine. Where's the issue?"
And I think it was all
I'm
of
like, "Oh, this is a me problem."
it was a new problem.
That's me. It's just me. All right, Kebaabetswe, could you please just give us a little intro? Who is Kebaabetswe and what exactly do you do? And what does your name mean? I sort of was trying to pick out straws as to what does Kebaabetswe mean, but it's such a beautiful name. It has my attention. So please just let us know a little bit about you.
I actually realized over the past couple of years that once I've Googled my name, that the meaning comes out. But years ago, it wasn't searchable at all, right? So I'll start with that.
Hmm.
My name is
Mm-hmm.
Kebaale, and means I have been given. So when my mom uses it, she says Kebaabetswe Basetsana because I'm the last of four girls. Um,
Oh.
we were hoping that I was a boy, but unfortunately I came as a girl, and my grandmother was like, time out.
Cut it,
We're,
cut it, cut it, cut it.
we're concluding this. We have four girls. And yeah, that's it. Give I was
Ah.
the last one of four beautiful, successful girls, raised by a single mom, born and bred in Pretoria. I moved to Johannesburg, of course, for greener pastures, but essentially it was mainly because of the industry that I'm in. I'm in advertising, and Pretoria doesn't have a lot of advertising companies, agencies, or basically a culture. Pretoria is more
Mm.
arts, but
Mm.
Johannesburg has both the arts and advertising. I'm an artist. I love calling myself a multi-hyphenated woman because I think as an individual you have so many interests that you love, but society doesn't allow you to actually explore all of those different passions and things that you love, right? So with me, I've taken it upon myself to actually be multi hyphenated. I can still exist as an advertising director, but also at the same time I can be a painter, or I can be a swimmer, or I can be, I can have two polar interests. I can be an academic, but at the same time I can be an artist or creative, right? And the reason with that is that my passions are many. I love art, I love painting, I'm in advertising, I love fragrances, I love makeup, beauty. I am a part time model as well. So there's just so many things that I think are still gonna add on to what I love and who Kebaabetswe is.
Mm.
So yeah, and with regards to mental health, yeah, I think with Black people, we come from getting such backgrounds that we're not taught about our psyche and our minds and our emotions, all of those things were pretty much taboo in our society. So I just kept on learning on, how to actually change and remove myself from what now people deem as toxic, but I don't like calling it toxic because we basically still trying to learn and be aware of our emotions and of our mental health and all of those kind of stuff. So I've been standing for it for pretty much a long time, like over 5 years, because I just kept on finding myself in spaces where you're forced to be a strong black woman. But I, for one, know that I'm very sensitive, I'm very soft, I'm very, I love things that are soothing, quiet spaces, nature, and all of those kind of stuff. And I think that also affected my mental health to an extent where I had to try and fit into spaces that were not made for me, but because of life and work, I was supposed to be in them. And that kept on affecting my mental health, and I kept on changing it, and also applying it into how I live, how I see family, how I see friends, how I see all of this. So, yeah, in a nutshell, that's me. I'm a soft girl
Okay.
who loves everything sweet and everything soft.
Okay, you're a girly girl. You just, I'm just a
Proud.
girl. No, I love it for you. I love it for you. And I feel like that's such a soothing place to be in, to just be like, I just like things that are calm, and I don't want to force being this extra strong black woman and this extra, because I find that naturally strength is in us. So it's
Yeah,
not that there is so much extra force we need to keep pushing to try to prove a point about it. And that's where the detriment of our mental health comes in, when we try too hard to try to emphasize on this, I'm the strong person. And
yeah.
yeah, no. While you've been navigating your space around taking care of your mental health, have you found that there's any issues with the relationships that you have, like with friends or with family? Has it affected that, you trying to figure out your space and your mental health?
A lot. It
Mm.
a lot of things, and also because not everyone is exposed to mental health facilities, as well as just the understanding between mental health and mental illness, right? Um, how that affected into, I can say, starts with family. It was just that whole taboo that as soon as you are sensitive, you are weak, or if you don't agree with certain things, you are disrespectful, all of this kind of stuff. I think with Black societies, if you have a voice, or you have a different perspective in things, that becomes considered as you're a rebel, you are, going against every single thing, right? So with that, it affected so many relationships. I've actually lost some, and some I just wish we could have mended just for the sake of understanding and being aware that we can still exist in one place when one has a different perspective or a different opinion on certain things. Right? And while we are doing work on ourselves, and especially me doing the constant work, constant checking in, constant, affirming and, creating boundaries and all of those kind of things, you then get to understand that people don't understand what boundaries are. And I think that's where tricky. And especially when it comes to emotions, like people don't understand when it's time to take some time out and not have a conversation about it, or seeing something in a different way. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but it has affected me in that sense that the more that you're constantly learning, the more your awareness of things that are flawed, but not also flawed at the same time, but like things that are considered as a norm, but they're not supposed to be, right? So yeah, it's a tricky thing to maneuver actually right now, and I think it comes with EQ as well to understand the two differences, like I was saying. There are people that live with it on a daily, but mental health and ensuring that your mental health is healthy, it's a constant thing that you do on a day to day.
True. No, I hear you, and I actually think the bigger problem for most of the time, when it comes to relationships and maintaining your personal mental health, it always starts with the boundaries parts that are difficult to they're difficult to explain, they're difficult to navigate, yeah, and they're also quite difficult for the next person to understand that this is a boundary
Understanding.
for me, yeah, and to accept it without getting upset, because we don't want to create boundaries, and we're not actually trying to end relationships. For the most part, we're not trying to end relationships. We're just trying to say, this is so much that I can take, and I understand you want to come past that line, but I'm not willing to accept that. And that's not
Yes.
supposed to be a deal breaker in that relationship, but sometimes it ends up being that way. That's the tough part.
Yeah. And you know what the other thing is, and I've realized that it's related a lot with mental health is respect. Because
Mm,
if we come to one conversation or to one part that we need to, benefit from, like for example, you were saying just earlier that you went to a public hospital and your anxiety was shooting out the roof, is because
mm,
you've realized that those public people that work in those certain government or facilities have no respect for the services that they need to give, and also they don't have no respect to the people that they need to give it to as well. So that creates anxiety from you because you're
mm,
not seeing your benefit to actually being there, and that affects you. But also at the
mm,
same time, you don't realize that the more that they do this, the less and less respect that comes to them. And also at the same time, it becomes a domino effect that in the long run, they feel that they are not being respected enough because they work in a public hospital. But also, what are you doing to show up as a person that one has humility, has respect for themselves and for the next person, and understands that people are going through a lot of things.
mm. Especially in those type of settings, in anything that is, I mean, it's a service, right? And it's service to other people. It's not like a business to business type of service. It's just like with customer service, you just need to know that you are the front line of this situation, and in those type of places people are generally super vulnerable. So your attitude towards, I still need to be respected for what I am doing over here because I'm not respected enough, and then the next person is like, just because I'm vulnerable when it comes to this specific thing of my health, it doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of being respected too. So I'm not gonna respect. Then weird cycle.
It becomes an entire
So
cycle.
yeah, so what a mess.
Also, in the same light, in our relationship with family, friends, work, whatever the case is, even our environments, we are still vulnerable to them. You know, I'm very vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
in my environment. I walk out of my house right now, I'm vulnerable to whatever might happen to me. The same as in relationships,
Mm,
you use your emotions, you expose everything that's regarding you to a person, and you expect them to hold it for
mm,
you and pretty much respect it and care for it, you know?
mm. Yeah, no, I hear you. All right, then please let me know, for you, why do you think mental health awareness is important?
I think, like I said, because of that difference between mental illness and mental health, one, and also the fact
Mm,
that we are spirited people. I'm not the same as you, and you are not the same as me or anybody else that is on this life as well. We are completely different people. We don't think the same way. We don't feel the same way. We don't, do things the same way as well. And if we could understand that, I think that can be important and an important step for society to actually move further on this journey for mental health. Another
mm,
thing is that a human body, everything starts from here. So if this chaos in here is not aligned, has no perspective, has no nothing to detangle it or all of those kind of stuff, then everything else becomes affected. Your
true.
physical health can be affected by the fact that your mental health is not on par. Your your life can be affected. Your decision making, that also relates to work, relates to decisions that you may have to make in life. Everything
Mm-hmm.
that requires you to function needs to start with that top. And I think we are not respecting it enough that as soon as your mental health becomes a bit tricky, then you realize the things
Mm.
that in your life are also not showing up. So it's important for people to actually be very conscious of themselves first. And I think that's what I'm also preaching as well on my pages, is to be conscious of yourself, conscious of the type of person that you are, so that you can understand what you need to do and how you need to show up for your body, for your functions, your everyday things, your day-to-day routines, whatever the case may be. It needs to start from within, right? And I constantly preach around making sure that the environment inside you is clean and healthy before you actually can release yourself out to the public. So
True.
I think that's why it's important. We need to take care of ourselves and our inner beings first before we are able to show up. Because you can't show up if your cup is half empty, half full. There's no way that you can show up for that.
No, I hear you. I hear you. And it's quite sad when I think about it on my end, especially with the cup half empty, half full, that it's usually people like that are trying to do the absolute most in terms of pouring themselves out and don't know when to pause and say it's time for something to fill up my cup so that I have something to offer. Yeah, but it then also goes back to that relationships part that you also need to basically have a good relationship with yourself so that you can give yourself the time and the grace to fill back your cup up, right? Otherwise, you're just going to keep allowing yourself to be out there so that everybody's just like, well, I need a piece of you and I need a piece of you and I need a piece of you. And
And also
yeah, it spirals.
you can also allow your cup to be filled by other things that don't even define you, or things that don't even fit for your life or fit for who you are, and all of those kind. That also is something that
Mm-hmm.
is a huge thing, especially when people are more affected by by mental health, and then substance abuse and all of those kind of stuff then start adding in.
Mm-hmm.
Is because we can't differentiate ourselves from what it is that we actually really want, or what society actually wants from me or of me. So it's a tricky thing, this mental health thing, hey?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. It's very tricky. Ugh. Okay. So then, for you, what are your favorite daily or weekly or monthly routines that you have found to be very beneficial to your mental health that I can steal as well?
That you want to steal. I am such a boring girl, hey?
Yeah.
Like, all I just do is go to work and become busy, busy, busy. I'm joking. I'm joking. Um, on a day to day, what do I do? Okay, the one thing that I started from January was the gym, which I'm struggling consistently with. Oh, consistency is a very tricky thing. How do people do it? I don't know how people do the gym every day.
Mm,
It's tricky. So that's one thing. But obviously, it's not a day to day. Let's say weekly. On a day to
mm.
day, I wake up, I have 5 minutes to myself, in peace and quiet. I am very spiritual. I connect with God. And from there, then I become aware of my environment. And I think that form of acceptance is important, so that I'm in this situation right now, in this time, in this year. So that's one important thing that I do. Um, Another thing that I love doing is checking up on my loved ones. I love family, I love community, I love speaking to my friends. A day doesn't go by without me laughing. So I
Mm.
always love consuming content that will make me laugh, even if it's not from social media or from wherever, but I know my friends will share a sticker or two or a video or something, and I will just
Yes.
laugh, right? Weekly, I have a pamper day that I set just for myself, especially after work, because I'm a 9 to 5er and a business owner at the same time. So time doesn't exist when it comes to that,
Mm,
you
mm,
know?
mm.
So
Very difficult to manage.
it's very difficult, hey. So I cut out some time, especially on Wednesdays. And this is my theory, ne? Wednesdays.
Mm,
Wednesdays is pretty much smack bang in the middle of a day.
mhm.
Because week starts on Sunday, right? So Wednesday is in the middle of the day, I mean of the week, or we can say weekday. It's in the middle of a weekday. And what I do then is pretty much have a bath soak. My favorite salt foam bath, switch on a nice movie or something that I love watching and just
Mm.
and just relax. That's my time. I don't want anyone to call me. I don't want my phone near
Mhm.
me. I just switch off for like an hour or two and that's it. Monthly, I don't know. It depends on which season I'm in. Um, during the during the winter times, I didn't really do much, but I love visiting home. So I make sure that once in a month I actually do go home in Pretoria, just for khatama bana, just to reconnect with myself. I think that's also a very important thing to do. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to think of others, but like
Okay.
it's literally so simple. Like finding
No,
food.
that's wonderful.
Mm,
Yeah. That's wonderful because you don't go too far out of your way. Because also when you go too far out of your way to try to do something great for your mental health and whatever, it also gets so like detached from who you really are that it's difficult to maintain it.
it
You
feels
know.
forceful.
So if you're going to just yes, it feels so forced, and then it doesn't become the positive thing it was meant to be. And I
Yeah,
love the thing, yeah, the baths on a Wednesday, middle of the week, like just to sort of recap yourself back into getting into the week without. It's almost like putting it at a time where it's not that I'm going to wait until the end of the week to do something nice for myself. And it's not going to be that I wait for the beginning of the week to do something nice. It's like a nice reminder to your mind that I take care of you, body, all the time. And I'm always thinking about you. So even in the middle of the week, let's do something nice for you. And then we get back into productivity because, we're always ready for that. So that's such a nice thing to do.
yes. I hope you can steal one of
I
them.
think for me, I think I'm gonna steal that bath one. I'm gonna steal the bath one. I can do that because for the exercise thing, I'm gonna leave you to do your thing. That's you know, you
Look, it's fun.
okay. It's hard. I walk to work, right? And so that's me being like, okay, great. I've done my part. And then I started using like the steps tracking thing. And
Yes.
it's not even 5,000 steps for me to get to work. And I was like, I bet I've done my part. Like,
You must try.
there's only so much I can do.
You must
No,
really
I
try.
think, you know what? I think
Yeah.
going I was gonna say that I think going, and then when I come back, it's probably covering the second walk back is covering the first one. Then,
Oh my
what
God.
were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, I was saying, don't find like little exercises that you can do inside the house. Like I don't know, like these are like weird things, like maybe jump or dance while you're doing something else in a chore, or do squats while I don't know, on social media. Like those things that they actually do on social media. I can
Mm.
see I don't know. But also another
You
thing
know the
that,
other time.
yeah.
Oh, sorry to cut you there. I just thought of something. I remember seeing an advert on Pinterest, and they were advertising this stepper thing. And the person that was
Uh-huh.
advertising that stepper thingy was showing someone that was doing it in front of a TV, and they were like, just do the stepper thing every day through one episode of whatever it is that you're watching.
Yeah,
So you're in front of the
yeah.
TV and then you're doing your steps, and it must just be through one episode every day. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. That wouldn't be difficult. I'm just watching one episode of Real Housewives, and by the time it's done, I'm done with my exercise.
You sorted, Mbali. You sorted. Like you don't need anything else. But I
Mm.
mean, your process are busy, you know. There was some other lady that I used to do her workouts on YouTube with, and she would be like, take a can of baked beans and use it as your weights, or a 2 liter bottle, use it as your weight
Mm.
while you're working out. You know, things that are like we are resourceful. Humans
Mm.
are resourceful, you know. But also I would love to
Mm.
tell you that before I joined the gym, I did a lot of yoga. Um, yeah, that
Oh.
was brilliant, and especially when it came to my mind and anxiety. Ooh, like it did wonders, and I started the day with it. I learned breathing work. I learned, you know, all of these nice things that will actually help you calm down. Because now when you're always there, finding yourself
Mhm.
in a panic and oh my god,
Mm.
oh my gosh.
Mm.
And sometimes you just need like 2 minutes to just calm down, take yourself, bring yourself back towards yourself, and you know, carry on with the
Mm.
day. So yoga was important, but right now, ish, my joints are no longer working. I'm no longer flexible.
But that was such a great one because I remember learning stuff that has to do with breath work. And I
Yes.
realized it actually, you just reminded me of that because that was, it would help me so much with my anxiety for the rest of the day, right? If I did it first thing in the morning and did a full breathe in and hold and full breathe out and touch my toes and, all of that, it really was a very nice oxygenating your full body type of thing. And it
100%.
would do great work for the rest of my body and the rest of the day. And I realized, so we do a lot of, like, I do a lot of the breath work stuff for when I'm in the middle of a panic attack to calm me
Mm,
down from that. But
mm,
when I have that done from the morning, ah,
mm.
it helps. It just gets you through the day. The anxiety, like you get, there's so many things that you just get like, I actually can cope. I'll be
You
fine. I'll be
can do
fine.
it. You can do it. We are big girls. We can do
Mm.
big things.
When I grow up, I'll start doing big girl things. I'm still just
Yo, I'm still a teenage 30-year-old usually.
oh,
Like, I don't
little
understand
baby.
how I'm 31 and doing adult things.
It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Like why am I supposed to be, I can just be alive for 30 years. That's it. But I'm somewhere around 5, 6, according to my understanding. I'm just a little 7-year old that needs to get through the day and is surprised why is there so many big people things that need to be done.
Imagine,
Like
imagine the suffering. But I mean,
the
the little
suffering.
girl in
No, not
little girl in us knows what we're doing, and and she is proud of what it is that we're doing.
yes.
And
Oh, yes, yes. And she is proud. And she looks up to us and she thinks we're just these great beings and we're pushing.
no, we're doing the thing.
No, I love that. I love, there was a time where I remember hearing this from Dineo Ranaka some time ago. And she was like, I don't remember what was happening with her at that time. Or someone asked her how she was doing. It was years ago. And she's like, honestly, right now, I'm just running on the confidence that other people have in me. I'm running on the faith that other people have in me. And that has done so much for me, where I'm just like, I don't have the capacity. And I'm currently doubting myself. And I'm currently just, those awkward moments. But then I'm like, you know what? There are other people. There's that 7-year-old girl that thinks, oh, Bali, you're that
Yes.
girl. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna run on your faith until that faith catches up with me. So I
Like
get on to my own
like
program.
you are your ancestors' wildest dreams, or you're living in your elders' living prayers. What prayers? What do they say? Like you're living in their answered prayers.
That they say that.
You know, so clocking it.
Okay, that's great. So, how would you suggest that we help somebody else that is struggling with their mental health? And I want you to just let me know what you think. Someone that is struggling with their mental health that you want to help, and they don't see that they're struggling. And then there's also the other end of someone that is struggling and you want to help, but they are scared of asking for help. They're scared of approaching anyone. They would say, okay, I can see that, okay, my depression is getting out of control, or my anxiety, whatever it is, or my mental health in general. It's not a mental illness, but it's just my mental health. I'm just not taking care of it as well. But I'm scared of asking for help because everything is relying on me. So there's those two sides. How would you think your average person we should be able to help somebody else?
Okay, so the one side is one that is aware that they are drowning and they need help, and the other is someone
Mm-hmm.
that I see they need help, but they don't. What was the first one?
Yes, exactly that. You see that they need help, but they don't realize it, and you would like to help them.
Sure. What a tricky question. Um, I think on both of them, giving them grace and teaching them what grace is and extending it to them
Mm.
to show them that I am here to support, not to be in it with you, but I'm here to hold your hand. That's for both of them, right? I'm going to answer the second one because I think it's much easier to answer first. Um, how I can show up for someone that needs the help, but they just don't know how to navigate it. Um, Start by affirming them and I guess showing them and teaching them what affirmations are, because I think that's something that a person can do, even though they are not seeing it or they are clouded by everything that's going around. I think you need to, well, I would help them be aware of the fact that they are not their problems and they are still a person that exists just as themselves. Um,
Mm.
it's such a tricky thing, and especially in South Africa, to direct people to mental health resources because they are available,
Mm.
but as soon as you get access to them, they are not really as helpful, right? So I would I would ask them to get to one thing that suits them. Um, by soothing, I mean, be it worship, be it prayer, be it time to
Mm.
themselves, be it something that is related to self-care or, those kind of things. I think I need to remind them, I would remind them that they are not what's happening to them. And they need to constantly still affirm themselves and believe in themselves that they can do the hard things. And the hard things, they end at some point. Right.
Mm.
Or someone who doesn't know that they're going through something that's very hard. Um, Also, it also depends on people who understand boundaries and, it's a very tricky
Mm.
maneuver, especially when people feel like you are overstepping when you're extending yourself or, showing too much or overwhelming them. And I actually don't know. I've never actually experienced, like, I've never wanted to physically do it myself, but I would direct them to what they can do. I'm a
Mm.
firm believer in sharing resources. I share statuses, I share stories, I share quotes, I share Bible verses, I share all of those kind of things, right? But I would constantly, in a very gentle way, show them that it's okay. I understand you, and it's okay for you to actually let go, right? Um, but that's also another thing is that it's hard for you to make them aware of the fact that they are going through something when they are not aware of it. But you constantly, in a soft
Mm.
way, are you okay? How are you? So those conversations, starting those conversations with them so that they can, start opening up. because people who are not aware of their mental health condition or their mental health status are people who are struggling to face what's in front of them, because one, they probably were judged, or they were probably they got burnt by finding themselves in vulnerability or all of those kind of things. So I think opening up a channel of communication, safe communication, is what I would do for a person that doesn't know, just so that they can open up and unravel, you know. So yeah, I think I hope I answered.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Yeah, no, you answered me very well. That's really helpful because I think that throughout what you were saying, the one word that kept on coming to my mind is kindness and understanding, right? So we're not trying to push people because even for the person that is aware, they also don't want to be pushed. So it does go back to just listening, being there, being present, because also to help somebody get to a point of opening up, and then while they're trying to do that, you keep disconnecting from what they're saying. It becomes also a problem. The person will shut down again. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that level of just kindness, it comes with being soft. Yeah? You need to be a soft girl before you can listen to somebody. I love that face. Before
Yeah,
you can
it
listen to
does.
somebody else.
It does. It requires.
Yeah. Because, yes. Sorry, please repeat.
I was saying it requires a lot of patience, like learning a
Oh,
whole.
yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. It's a very intentional thing. It's a very intentional thing. You cannot just go into trying to help somebody else and um not fully want to embody that. You have to be really intentional about, I'm actually going to cut myself out of the situation and try to put this person over
yeah,
here, and try to put them first for this moment. So
yeah,
that's a very big selfless thing. And also people that are struggling, I think that is helpful because usually they're struggling because they've met up with so many, like you were saying, Brent, with so many, I'm not willing to hear you out.
yeah,
If I ask you, how are you doing? I'm expecting you to say, I'm fine, how are you? And then so I can say, I'm fine and be out of your face.
yeah.
I'm not
True.
expecting you to start unwrapping everything because then, yeah, 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 yeah.
And people
So when you remind,
too much.
right, right. And as soon as you get that feeling, I'm too much to one or two people, you start being like, hey, maybe I really am a problem, I'm going to stop. And
Yeah,
so you as a person that has to intentionally try to open that thing again for the next person, it takes some patience because now you have to help them unlearn that habit that they had taught themselves, that
oh,
I cannot say
absolutely,
anything to nobody.
absolutely. And it's something that I also learned with my best friends, the closest friends. I love calling them best friends. All of them are my best friends. Um, is to be is to be intentional about asking them, "How are you?" Like there's a difference between asking someone, "Oh, how are you?" because you want to get to the next thing, But as soon as you ask them and stay there, say, "Mbali, how are you?" Like really, how are you? Then you
Mm.
allow that openness for them to start like expressing themselves and saying, "Oh, I'm okay, but I'm dealing with one, two, three, and four, and it creates a safe space for people like that.
Mm, mm. No, that's very true. We're very conditioned to how are you coming with a specific answer. And you're right about even the way we say how are you. That pitch difference is a very big difference. That
Yeah,
makes someone know, yeah, I might just quickly be like, "Keshapo ena," and then
yeah,
sure,
and
and leave it at that. And then there's the other one that makes a person want to stop and be like, okay, how am I really? And then how do I even articulate what I'm trying to say or how I really feel? So Very helpful. Thank you so much for that. I really enjoyed today's conversation, Kebaabetswe. I really appreciate your time and your patience with me today. Thank you so much. I think we had a great one.
Yes. And I did exactly
Yeah,
that.
and you did do exactly that. No, I really appreciate it, and I think that this is why also I have these conversations and not sticking to people that are fully professional in the space. It's a matter of somebody seeing any other normal person that is
Yeah.
speaking about their experience and how they deal with themselves and being like, okay, love that, she gets to do this for herself. If I try it, will I end up having that type of energy that she has, and will I be able to get that calmness? Will I be, just to try out things by learning from other people? You never know what people have picked up from this, but I really do feel like it was a very fruitful conversation. So I truly appreciate it. And so, how do our audience connect with you?
Ooh, connecting. um, on TikTok at underscore Kebaabetswe, my full name. I am on Instagram. I'm always there on Instagram, but unfortunately for now, I'm taking a social media detox. Again, mental health,
Lovely.
prioritizing myself.
Right, lovely.
But you can find me at Keba Sebola, Kebabola. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I can put my business pages as well, which is something that is also conscious as well in terms of how I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very related to scent and using scent as that power to education and consciousness and, safe and clean environments. So that is at
Nice.
Emma underscore SA. And yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
And that's it. That's the only ways we can find you. Okay. How long do your detoxes take?
It depends on how long I need it for. It can go for 2 weeks to a month or a month and a half. But I started it this Monday, so I think it might be up until the end of the month. I'll see. I'll see. If I'm used to it by next week,
Nice. And
midweek,
how often do you do them?
usually once a year or twice a year. But yeah, I just love just disappearing a bit, reflecting, removing that overstimulation, out of my system and just doing what nature people do. I just want to go to a park and stand on the grass with my bare feet, and that's it, without
Mm-hmm.
social media and having to take pictures of it and that constant need to show people that you're doing good and you're doing great. So
Mm.
yeah, that's literally it. And now that we're moving into summer, I love recalibrating my energy because I was in hibernation for winter. So now that because we're getting into the summer hot, warm days, we're gonna be exposed to a lot of people. So already my environment
Mm-hmm.
outside of home, I'll be exposed to a lot of people. So detox first before I go out.
Right. Perfect. Perfect. In fact, this winter season is the best time to do that detoxing and hibernating because then you are fully ready when summer comes in. Unless you're in Pretoria. Pretoria is already
No,
having its own life.
I'm in Joburg right
Oh,
now.
hot.
Doing some
Yeah.
stuff.
But I love Pretoria in winter. I wish.
Nah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's amazing. I'm in Free State. In Free State, it is winter in December or in November or in February. Like whenever you feel like it will borrow you some sunny days. But generally, this is a winter when, yeah.
I can see
All right.
out. Oh my gosh.
No, ke lebile haholo, ke lebile haholo.
Thank you for having me. It was such an honor and a pleasure. And I am going to say well done on what you're doing. You are shining light on a very important topic in South Africa, especially to our youth and our Black society. So please keep doing it. Please also keep showing the next ordinary person that it's okay. It's okay to go through this, and whatever that you're going through, it's okay and it's safe, and you are seen. So I see you, sis,
Mm.
and at it. Much love from me. So have a good weekend, and I wish you all the best on the
Thank
initiative that you're
you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I will cry. Let's end this here so I can go cry. And then
doing. There must be good, happy tears.